You're now listening to episode 76 of Signed In, an Xbox 360 podcast, recorded on September 10th, 2011. Find us online at signedinpodcast.com. Welcome back to Signed In. I am Jeremy Superpro33.
I'm Craig Propdresser.
And I'm Sean Shonix.
How's it going, gentlemen?
Okie dokie.
Good.
Good couple of weeks.
Yeah. I was thinking I didn't play much, and then I made a list of games that I wanted to talk about. I'm like, I played a lot.
I didn't play very much. Well, I did play a lot, but I didn't play much of a lot. Does that make sense?
No, not
I played
at all.
little bits of a lot of things.
I see.
Because that's what I do. Because I'm terrible.
You're a dabbler.
I'm a dabbler.
You bedabbled.
Bedabbled.
The bedabbler. How about you, Sean? How you been doing?
I was in a little gaming funk for a while there. Nothing really new was enticing me, so I was playing a lot of older stuff. But I did get some stuff out of indie did entice, and some of the arcade had a bunch
Yeah,
of
it was a good
trials
couple of weeks
up.
of arcade.
I mean, I was just trying stuff to try it. And then
Seems like that's the point.
a couple demos. The Gunstringer demo was fun, and then
nice.
Dead Island is probably the only disc game. It is the only disc game I have.
Dead Lion is a completely different game.
Dead Lion, yes. You just kill it. It's Simba.
It's a sim, actually.
Yeah.
It's Kinect, right?
Yeah.
It's an extension of Kinectimals.
It's the new DLC pack, and then you just
to
go
teach your children to deal with death.
and you just strangle the poor.
No, it's not a
defenseless
murder sim.
Oh, it's not. Oh, okay.
A murder sim. That's not
No,
going
you
to
just
sell.
watch them decay.
Well, it will sell. Oh, like speed it up, slow it down.
That'd be awesome if you did feed your Kinectimal.
walk around
and
it.
then when
Put
you
glasses on it.
Yeah. But when you're let's say they should have a game kind of like the Kamaguchi Coochies.
Tamaguchis?
Yeah, have those.
Tamagotchis.
Yeah, the Gucci bag Tuchis. But have a game like that, but it's Kinectimals, and then when you return back, if you don't feed it, it's like
they're dead.
So that'd be awesome.
And
but
half
on
eaten
Kinect,
out.
yeah,
Half eaten out by your new animal pet.
yeah, flies.
Or I don't know, a wolf.
Another
Raccoon. This is a great idea.
I would play that game just to see my animal die. Or not
That's
die,
terrible.
but
Wow.
come back and see how far it's decayed. And if they use the
And
timing
you get a
of
new
the
animal out of it.
yeah, and if they use the timing of the Xbox, you could teach science at the same time. You are the controller.
That's a great idea. They should get on that. So that's not anything
That's
you
a
played,
DLC
right?
that they're planning, right?
Yeah, I didn't play that game.
I also
That's
played a couple indie games. Splosion Man had a release for
Yes.
the Pinball FX, I guess, had a release of the Splosion Man table, which was awesome, and I'll talk about that. Well, you played it, didn't you,
Yes,
Sean?
I did.
All right, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
And also, I checked out Rise of Nightmares for the Kinect, which I can't wait to talk about. I played a little bit of Deus Ex, the new human evolution game, or Revolution, sorry. Revolution. And then some Dead Island, too. So we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
What about you, Craig? You're all download heavy, aren't you?
Well, as usual, I got a bunch of indie games, a few from the summer arcade. I didn't get a chance to really devote a lot of time to all the summer arcade. I like that they hit their schedule like they planned,
Yeah.
but damn, that stuff came out fast.
I
Yeah,
know.
it did.
And it came out at a bad time for me with not
Yeah.
being around.
Right.
And you, with school starting up again,
Yeah,
everything's
I've been
busy.
really busy.
So there's just a ton of shit.
Although what's really awesome is that on the dashboard, they have a Summer Uprising.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Blade thing, yeah. So you can just check out all the games from there, which is good because I don't think that San Bruno High or whatever, the fighting game, I don't think that one got a new listing. It was just an update to the old one. So you had to go find the old one.
You had to
again.
search that one out. And Take Arms was a little late getting to the board, but it showed up. So
Well, yeah. Anyway, so I got a bunch of those things and a whole slew of arcade games: Rock of Ages, The Baconing, Skydrift,
Jesus.
BloodRayne, Betrayal, and Crimson Alliance.
Settle down, son. You're gonna go on. Do you
Not
do
all of
your
them
own
have been played in
show?
full.
Are you gonna leave us and do your own separate download?
I'm going to call it Tales from the Hard Space.
Downloadable Craig.
Well, you
That's
already
a
get that.
terrible idea. Also, before we start all the
Abbreviate
games,
it DC.
I just want to mention there's really no fanfare for this unless Craig does it in post. There you go. Oh, there is right now, live. But it is our 3-year anniversary.
Oh.
So just a quick thanks to everybody for supporting us over the last 3 years. And thanks for sticking around with us. And hopefully we won't be going anywhere.
And see what happens when you encourage people.
Exactly. This is what you get.
It's your fault.
When I say hopefully we won't be going anywhere, I mean literally we're not going anywhere. We're stagnant and staying in this exact position. So speaking of which, let's talk about some games.
Awesome.
Indie games, gents?
Yes.
Who wants to kick it off?
I'll kick it off with All the Bad Parts, which is an RPG that sells for, I don't remember now. I bought it like a couple weeks ago. So
All the Bad Parts, that's my favorite part.
This was one of the contenders for Summer Uprising, actually, and I saw the video for it, and it's pretty cool. So it's a action RPG, but what's weird is that it's got kind of a one of those 2.5 Ds, not 2D, not 3D, right. But it's
tilted.
Yeah, but it's got depth, and so you got flat characters, and you can move like back and forth, and it's pretty sophisticated for stuff that I've seen on the indie marketplace. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen anything else do stuff like that. And the story is just kind of whacked out. It's like dreamlike. They're highly suggesting that something is really wrong, because there's this kid and he's in school and then he has to go do these things, and they're really asinine things, and he's kind of not really paying attention to it. But you, the player, are like, what is going on? And then there's like these giant bugs, and he's unfazed by that. And later, there are dudes with bug heads that he's fighting, and he's like, I have to go have a date with this girl, so I can't, and people are talking to him, and they're like, why don't you notice what's going on or something? So I'm intrigued to see where this story is going to go. Yeah. And it's a lot of close combat sort of fighting, and it's got a kind of combo system. You have special moves that you can do, and then the more that you chain those successful moves, it increases the counter, and that increases like your power, so you can defeat enemies faster and stuff like that. So really crazy game, and really quite cool. I like the art style, and just really off the wall and different from the indie marketplace.
Cool. I will check it out.
Awesome.
Probably not.
Do it.
I need to. What I did check out, though, I checked out Ninjah.
Ninjah.
With an H.
Ninjah.
It comes from Colorfy Games. It is 80 points. And it is a really simplistic, just puzzler. One of those one screen, just get from one end to the other, get to the exit door. And
like those .co or no. Those other Ninja ones.
Exactly, kind of like that.
Yeah.
Situation. This is a lot more like pixelated looking, and your guys, it's just a little pixel, like a couple different pixels. Mm-hmm. And you're basically jumping over platforms, and so you move forward with the stick. You jump by pushing up, which I hate.
Yes.
So here's the thing. I really want to like this game. The music is fantastic. Mm-hmm. I love these kind of little just puzzle games like that where you're just maneuvering around a room. Mm-hmm. They add in a couple different elements where you have a grappling hook or a rope, I guess is what they call it. Yeah. And so you aim that up with the right stick, and then you shoot it with the left trigger. Yeah. And then you also get a gun, which propels you up and forward by your direction that you're shooting, and that's with the right trigger. So then there's also, they throw in rooms where you can use all three of those, and they throw in some rooms where you're limited to only doing specific things. So in this room you can't use the gun, or this room you can only use the gun, and you got to get to the exit like getting that way.
Yeah.
It felt okay as far as using some of the gun movement to get around and like boosting yourself up with that. It was a little bit tedious, I found.
I agree.
In some areas.
Yeah.
And it was actually just got hard in some points, because you go through the first like 10 levels or so, and they also throw in this other option now or this other issue where you have color coordination that you have to use, and so you have to hit these blocks to basically change your color of the bars you can touch, and so there'll be other bars that if you hit them you die, so you have to swing around and maneuver around to hit only these certain colored bars, or they're blocking you in the room. They throw in other areas where if you're in these specific areas you can't use any of your abilities. So it's like basically just a shaft up this one area that you can use your ropes. You have to go straight up that one area, and if you aim it in any of those other areas, you can't use it, and it just won't let you do it. There's a lot of variety, and there's a lot. Basically, it's just getting to the end the fastest that you can.
Right.
Again, the music's fantastic. I love the style, but I'm not good enough for it. and I understand that, my limitations. So, so I really wanted to like it.
I was enjoying it, and I kept playing it because like the first couple are pretty simple once you get past it and figure out what you're supposed to do. But it was like towards those later ones, and it was just more me getting frustrated.
Exactly.
And the game really had me, but I think it really got amped at that point. Like it went from, oh, this is kind of easy, simplistic, that all of a sudden, now I got to change everything up.
And there are people that love that.
It's really, it was, I wanted to kind of get there eventually. So.
But I would recommend checking out if you like those kind of games, because there are people that like that challenge, and it's just, for me, I get frustrated and I just want to quit. So, but check it out because it's definitely interesting looking, and I love the sound.
Yeah, excellent.
Cool.
Sean, what you got?
Talk a little Kobold's Quest.
Yes.
It sells for 240 points from Sucker Free Games. Sucker Free Games.
Sucker Free.
I don't think they say it like that, but
They might. You don't know.
I don't. You're right, but I don't know why I did.
Maybe you're really true to them.
But they got 1 to 4 players. It's local. It's a platformer, and you're like this goblin.
You're a kobold.
You're a kobold,
which is a fantasy creature.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a goblin.
Yeah, they kind of look like the dragon kids from Dragon Slayer, in my opinion. But
sure.
Anyway, without wings. So like their leader is eating all of his minions. So one of them is like, "Hey, we're gonna go out and get some babies for you.
Get him some babies to eat.
We're gonna eat some food."
It's a baby abducting game.
Fantastic.
And that's what you do. You go and what you do is you go into storm a castle or storm the village, and it all depends on how everything works.
Okay.
And you got to jump over people, because if you have like 5 lives, 5 lives, I believe it is, and you've got to get there and then get back with the baby. And if you get hit, you drop the baby, or if you have to jump or you have to open something, you have to drop the baby.
Yeah. Don't drop the baby.
Yeah, then you got to pick the baby.
You can swipe at them.
Yeah,
at the enemies.
And I thought I had a lot of fun with it. I thought visually wise, I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, it's got kind of a Super Nintendo style quality.
It's like It has a Ghosts and Goblins type. For me, like the graphics just reminded me of Ghosts and Goblins, how the characters look, especially the human characters. Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was I enjoyed it. I liked it.
There's like different paths that you can take, so I can imagine playing with more people, and different people are going different directions trying to get that baby first. Because I'm pretty sure the person who delivers the baby gets the winner or something like that. So
in a 4-player, even in a 2 or 4, because I can imagine that could get pretty nuts, and you just slashing at each other trying to steal that baby.
Yeah.
I got to get that baby.
the only,
got to eat them all.
I like that baby.
It's too bad it's not online. I think that would have probably won me over.
Oh yeah, I mean that would have been awesome.
Yeah, but it's still really cool.
It is
visually
very cool.
wise. It's good. Yeah. But yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
I was like, "What's this all about?" And then I'm like, "I just stole that baby." And I took it to him, and he's going to eat it. Okay.
And not you. Oh, and did you mention the animated cutscenes in between?
Those are pretty sweet.
Yeah. They mention Behemoth games.
Okay.
And it does have a style kind of similar to that, but very cool stuff. Cool. Very cool. I played Professional Stealer. I don't know how you pronounce a $, so I'm just going to call it Stealer. And so this is one of those constant movement games, kind of like Get to the Choppa and all that stuff. So you're a thief and you're trying to escape the police, and you're running across rooftops. And so you're running along, you have to jump over obstacles. The thing is that in the game, you can't control... You're not telling yourself to go forward. You're just automatically going forward, and you're increasing in speed over time.
Okay, yeah.
There is a button that you can use to slow down, but you only have a limited amount of that. And so, you're jumping over satellite dishes and air conditioning units, and then police officers will pop up, and you have to jump over them. And you can also get these knives that you can throw at things to break them instead of jumping over them. And then you'll hear a jet coming, and you have to slide underneath that. And it's very kinetic, very cool. My only issue with it is that the characters are little stick guys, and they're really, really tiny. And so I kind of would lose track of myself on occasion and run into things just because I wasn't quite sure how close I was to stuff. So I would have, but me, I've always kind of complained about, not complained, but that's one of my that's one of my sticking points is tiny characters on the screen.
Right. Getting
my
lost.
old man eyes can't handle it. So, but otherwise, it was pretty dang fun.
Cool. Well, in that vein, I guess I also played Speedrunner HD.
As did I. Yeah.
Good. And that was from Double Dutch Games. It is 240 points, and it does feature some local co-op play or versus play, I guess, multiplayer.
Yeah, and this is actually a HD update of a Flash game, I believe.
Oh, is it? I don't know anything about it.
It was a computer game first, but
cool.
this is an HD update for it.
I really love the style. Honestly, the game doesn't do too much for me.
Really?
I mean, it's really short bites. You're looking at 20 to 30 seconds of each level. Basically, it's like you were saying before with the previous game. It's a side-scrolling automatic. You're going and you're jumping over obstacles. You do have a grappling hook that you can use in certain areas to swing as well. And then you're also able to slide.
Yes.
So you have to slide under some of those because basically you'll run into obstacles that'll slow you down.
Right.
And you're just looking to get to the end at the fastest time.
Get to the bomb.
Get to the bomb. And I really enjoyed the style though because it's really cartoony. It looks like a comic book.
Yeah.
It was really like Incredibles looking, like where you're playing like superheroes and trying to stop these evil scientists from planting bombs all around the city.
Mad Bomber. I think that was his name.
Yeah, I think so.
So it was. I mean, it was
And
really
his big bear machine.
And then you got to that. Yeah, you got to that boss level where he's chasing you. And that thing looked fantastic. Like I love the look and the silhouette of everything, and I just really like the style a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it's just that bite-sized kind of game, and it sounds like the multiplayer would be a lot of fun.
Definitely,
because it works like in a versus format where you're all kind of racing towards the end.
Yeah, I was imagining Rascals.
Yes, that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
And you had power-ups you could pick up and use those. So they were like, some of them were like a grappling gun that went straight ahead and pulled you forward.
neat.
And some were a box you could drop, so they would basically hit them. And it would basically, how you get through the level is you're taking out the lives of your other opponents. And so when you get them off screen Contra style, then they would die.
Nice.
So you're basically just trying to go as fast as possible towards the right side and leave them in the dust.
Nice.
Contra style.
That's cool.
God damn it, stop jumping. That's my Contra gameplay from when I was 13. You're killing me on this waterfall here.
I hate that waterfall.
But I would recommend checking out. I mean, I love the style.
Yeah,
the presentation is fantastic, and they had little cutscenes in between that were stills, but they were like all comic book style, and I really liked them.
And I had a lot of fun, and you can kind of blunder your way through the levels pretty easily, but it'll take a bunch of finesse in order to really. You can replay the level and do it with a lot more finesse and just glide through there pretty well.
I did notice that I was getting a lot better towards the end.
Yeah.
And then seeing all those like lightning bolts weren't they lightning bolts around?
Yes.
Like to pick up, and I think there was like a shoe with the wings, Hermes shoes on them too.
Yeah.
And like that just drives me nuts. 'Cause I'm like, how do I get to that? I want to get to
I missed them all.
I'm like, I want to grab
Yeah.
that. So yeah, I thought the look was fantastic. That was a good presentation.
Cool.
I've got another Summer Uprising game, Chester.
Yes.
It's sold for 240 points from Brilliant Blue G. It's another platformer where you just jump and shoot and collect. And I love the design. I love the style. You can choose from, if you're picking up all these, they look like stamps. I don't know.
They are stamps.
They're stamps. Okay. Good. So you're picking up stamps.
Finally, that stamp collector sim I was looking for.
Exactly. But
that is really how stamp collectors work. They jump around on different platforms, killing things and finding stamps just sitting on the ground.
That's why people are into it.
yes.
I get it.
It's quite
you
adventurous.
got to find the right side upside down one. So, but I had a lot of fun with it, and plus you can unlock when you do levels, you can unlock these different chesters.
Yes.
As well as
that have different abilities.
Yeah, and as well as different playable styles for the backgrounds.
You can change the style for any level.
So though they have a sketched looking one, they had a pixelated looking one. I mean, it
Nice.
it looks fun. I had a lot of fun with it. It's just a platformer, but I think there's a lot more to it than just I like that adjusting. And one of my guys, like when I switched to the other guy, he was really I like the animation for him too, and just the way they work and their abilities, and very, very cool.
Yeah, it's very, very clever. And everything Sean said.
Yeah.
He covered it pretty well. I had a lot of fun with it.
Cool.
Yeah.
I also played. Let's see here. What else? What have we talked about? Red, the Lost Temple.
Yes.
Red, which was another one of the Summer Uprising ones. I believe this was one of the fan vote ones, and was quite spectacular. I have to say.
Yeah, I really liked it.
I wasn't expecting things like voice acting and you know the level of polish on the game.
Yeah.
I mean, it is definitely worth the 240 points based on what I played for the demo.
I agree with you 100%. Like I just checked it out. I don't know when it came out. Was it this week?
Or
is it last
something
week?
like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just finally checked it out.
I don't know when the listeners are listening to it.
So I haven't picked it up yet. But I'm going to because I really love the level design of it.
So it's basically a dungeon crawler,
Top-down view.
Top down, and you have dynamite that you use to basically defeat traps and make your way through areas and enemies. I would suppose. I can't remember if there were enemies in the demo.
I didn't really come like a couple of those
were.
like weird things would just all of a sudden start glowing and floating, and I just blew them up.
Oh yeah, those little will-o'-the-wisp things.
Yeah,
I don't know what they were exactly. Yeah, and so it's a heck of a lot of fun. It seems like it's got a really cool story going into it.
Yeah.
Although I accidentally skipped through the opening thing. Well, because it went black, and I'm like, am I supposed to press A now? So I did, and then I'm like, wait. I think I skipped some story. Why are they sending red here?
Jackass.
And yeah, it's just really clever. I like how it regenerates the dynamite after a while.
Yeah.
Over time.
Yeah, I like that you didn't have to like worry about like picking up dynamite or buying more. I mean, you do have. You are picking up coins.
That's right.
And there's a shop that you go into that increases like how many bombs you can.
I didn't get to the shop.
There you can buy fairies, Zelda style.
Nice.
That refill your health.
It has a bit of a Zelda feel to
Totally.
it. Yeah.
And so, there are those options to increase your capabilities. But, I like that you don't have to worry about picking up bombs. You're never without.
Right.
You just have a period of time you have to let it regen.
You can pick up bombs. I mean, don't enemies drop dynamite, or don't things drop dynamite?
But they regenerate on their own, right?
Yeah, they do,
So
but they take a long time.
Yeah, right. There's a period of time you have to wait. But I like that you're not stuck without things. You know, like in a Zelda style where you'd be out of bombs and be like, God damn it.
Gotta go buy them.
So, I really like the style a lot. And the voice acting was not just did it feature voice acting, but it was well done.
It was really
too,
it was good.
Which was nice on a game like this.
A bit of a retro art style to it.
Yeah.
I liked how like right off the bat you're just kind of walking around and all you have is the light from your torch.
Oh yeah. You have to find
really,
that torch and the lighting system. I forgot all about that.
I thought that was a nice touch. There's a lot. It's a really neat game.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Definitely.
And I don't know if we mentioned it was Blazing Forge Games.
I did not.
240 points
because I did not write that stuff down.
That's all right. That's what we're here for.
I'm flying by the seat of my pants.
Me and my multiple personalities. What else we got for indie? Is that it?
That's
Are we
it.
tapped out?
That's right.
It.
Wow.
We all contributed equally.
Well, to be fair, you did 28
way to go,
last
gentlemen.
episode.
I did actually play a bunch more, but I don't remember them. So, and I didn't have time this morning to replay
that probably says more
them,
than anything.
So. Well, it's mostly because I played them last week.
I played like 30, but I just didn't feel like bringing them all to the table.
I played
so.
all of them. I just went down alphabetically, downloaded. I went out and bought a new hard drive actually and just downloaded them all.
Yeah.
And played them all.
How was that?
It was okay. I'm going to run through them real quick here if you don't mind. I got my tome.
Okay, let's
I'll
do
get
it.
that out. All right.
Well, you
Go
don't
through
have
A's.
to do.
How about we
you
do-
don't have to do Maybe Maker Extreme 1 and 2. You can skip those.
How about we do
We got
XBLA
those covered.
and start with some pinball?
All right.
Because there's not a lot to say about any
No.
new pinball tables. But I will say this. Splosion Man, and I called that shit like a year ago. Not a year ago, 6 months ago. I don't care. I'm even going to take credit that it was my idea, and they totally saw me talking about it, and then they wanted to make it. I know it's not true, but it makes me feel better about it as a person. I love the table.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Here's the thing, though, I will mention. It's really well done, and it's really smart, and it plays to the game, the Splosion Man games a lot.
Yeah.
But I will mention this. One of my problems with Miss Splosion Man over Splosion Man was her voice. And that is prevalent in this pinball table as well.
It is.
It's not
Sean
as
likes it.
bad as playing the game.
Yeah. I like
And
it.
I don't mean bad as in like terrible. I need to turn it down a little bit.
Yeah.
She gets going a little bit, and I'm like, what? Shut up.
But I
like all the other sounds. The breaking glass, the explosions.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of neat. I dig it. I dig the game. I did say I was kind of in a funk of games, but I always put pinball in that.
Yeah.
Like, I just play that kind of like poker and, those kind of games. Seen it and those kind of games. I just throw it in that mix. But Splosion Man just won me over, and the table's so fun. It is so fun to play.
The problem is I almost find it as being a little easy of a table. Because it's really hard to lose on it in some instances. So it's almost a bad thing for me to throw the game on because I'll play the table for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Like I played the other night and got to a new high score of like 300 million or something, and then was on ball 1. And I'd been playing like 40 minutes. And it's like ridiculous.
That's the thing I love about the table is like I get some pretty high scores just on one ball alone, and then I'm like, well, I got this made, and then the next two it's something stupid, and it's like, how did that just happen?
That's what happens.
Like, how did that bounce like that one time?
You do also get in a zone though, where you're like doing amazing, and then like if that breaks for any reason, which is why I don't like to stop my games in the middle. I do love the ability to save your games.
Are you really Tommy?
But if I am Tommy, in a way. No, not at all. But you get in a zone with that one ball, and then once you break your concentration by like either pausing it or like doing something else, and then you go back to it and you die instantly.
Yeah.
Die. You lose your ball. Like you die.
Oh, I had
all your hearts.
I had a lot of fun with that. I had like 4 balls going all over the place at once, which I thought was really cool. Yeah. It gets really nuts, and then when you get some of those, there's like a jackpot thing that's involved with it, and she moves to the other side of the board, and I'm just like, I love this.
Does it play any music from the game?
It's all music from the game.
Nice.
Yeah. It's like you're playing. I dig it.
It's all the sound assets from Splosion Man in the game.
And the first time I played it, played Splosion Man, went to the arcade, and then played the pinball.
Nice.
I totally did it. I had to.
That is awesome.
I had to. So.
That will make all the Twisted Pixel people happy, probably.
I had to do it.
But that's how you played it.
But I thought
I love it.
It's a beautiful table, and I'd like to play some more. But you get sucked into that one big time.
I agree.
So
cool.
Dig it though. Dig it.
That's all I got for XBLA.
Fail.
No, it's not true. I played a little bit of some of the others.
Let's talk about Rock of Ages.
Rock of Ages.
Of Ages.
So, how to describe Rock of Ages?
This is that Def Leppard sim, right?
Yes, exactly. It's like that Revolution game, the Aerosmith game.
Yes.
In the arcade with the guns. Yeah, where you're shooting CDs at the Revolutionaries. Let's talk about this game instead.
That's a fantastic game.
That game. Oh, my Lord.
No. Let's talk about Rock of Ages because I like this game a lot. So it comes from Atlas. I believe it was 800 points.
800.
It is, yes.
And it's a lot of fun. So it's kind of you're I don't know how to describe this.
You're a rock.
You're not a rock.
That's true. You're not.
You're Sisyphus.
That's right.
Of the Greek myth, who decides to break out of Hades using his boulder and rolling it down the mountain to smash through the gates. And so then basically you escape from Hades, and then you're going through Europe and time, I guess.
Yeah, you're going all through the ages, right?
Yeah, going through the ages, and then they're represented with different art styles, and
which is awesome.
Every time you get to a new place, then somebody tries to attack you, and then you have a battle. And the battle works is that Sisyphus hides in a castle, and the other dude hides in a castle, and these are both at the bottom of a mountain, and you're both rolling boulders at each other to try and smash into the gate so you can squish the dude inside with your boulder. But while you're waiting for your boulders to be chipped out of stone, then you're also laying down defenses, which are essentially obstacles that will slow down or kind of hinder the boulder's descent. I think it's going to be pretty much impossible to stop a boulder entirely.
Yeah, and then some of them, they slow them down, stop them. For instance, on some of those, you have those cows that ram it.
Yeah.
And they
later upgraded to elephants.
Exactly. And they try to knock it off or at least slow it down. And then you have catapults that hit it, which will basically reduce the mass of the rock. So make it smaller and smaller.
They also do more than that, especially when you get upgrades to the ballista, because the thing is that there's never one path, and so you can't completely. That's why you can't completely obstruct something. There's often like some little side path that is more precarious and harder to get up and navigate, but. There's always some alternate route, or you can jump onto little islands and things like that because the boulder can jump for some reason.
Obviously,
but
of course.
But it can also stop itself and go in reverse.
Right. Well, and you are battling when you're saying those precarious, paths. You are battling also perpetual motion of you're falling down a hill. So you have a lot of speed sometimes with your boulder.
Oh, yeah.
That you can't stop.
But one thing I did once was I set up like a row of towers in front of the main route. Then there was a little hill that went up, and there's just the ocean on the side. And then I set up like a whole bunch of ballistas pointing at that ridge. And so when the boulder tried to go up over it, they would just shoot it off.
Nice. So he would just fall.
Yeah, and so then the hand of God would have to come and pick it up. And so the thing with the defense is, and the defenses is the thing that is maybe the hardest learning curve for the game.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's not really explained to you, like they don't really give you strategies on how to properly use them.
Yeah.
They're just kind of like, well, you have like 30 seconds to lay some stuff down.
And
go
you know
to
what?
it.
The first time they did it for me, I didn't even know what direction I should be looking at. So I was even looking at the wrong side.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they start you there, but they don't explain this is where you need to build your stuff.
Right.
So it was kind of confusing to me.
But one thing about the defense is, so it's not a great idea just to throw down a whole bunch of towers in one area and then say, there, I'm done. Because whatever the boulder breaks on its way down, that square is still is gone. Basically, you can't rebuild defenses on places that you've built them before. So, and we should say, as you're rolling down the hill as the boulder, you're trying to smash people and objects and houses, and that gets you gold, which you then use to purchase your defenses, but also upgrade your boulder.
Yeah, because you can make a sturdier boulder.
Yeah,
with like
or
spikes.
a fireball.
I did have a fireball, and I didn't know how I got it one time. Like I didn't understand it. Did you have to buy that? Or
Yeah, it's one of the upgrades.
Maybe I accidentally clicked on something or whatever, but I was like a big ball of fire.
Maybe for the demo, they automatically do that.
Suck it. It was awesome. I mean, the game is really funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Now,
the cutscenes in between are
I
great.
did find what I was playing that the defense wasn't. I think I was wanting more involved on the defense side. It seems like more of an afterthought, like thrown in as something else to do.
Yeah.
Because, for the most part, I could get around. It was really just whoever got their boulders down first. So, I mean, essentially, I guess that's where your defense comes in.
Right.
But I would find myself, I was almost spending time. They were sending another boulder, and I was spending time trying to put up defenses, and I would have been better off just sending my boulder and like getting it down there before them.
There's also castle pulls or something like that, and I haven't used that one yet, which is basically you can attack the boulder like directly as it's rolling down the hill.
Oh yeah, that's right. But you have to take control of it.
Yeah, and you have to aim. But I didn't actually use that one. But there is actually an achievement for not getting your gate hit at all.
Ugh.
Yeah, so I'm not exactly sure how that would work. Maybe a lot of castle bolts or something.
Maybe in a 2-player game.
Yeah.
I'm cheating it.
Yeah.
Agreeing. A gentleman's agreement.
Maybe a whole bunch of like ballistas or something that will chip it down eventually. Yeah, because if you can whittle down the rocks and then they do less damage when they hit the gates, things like that. But the humor is really what draws me to it.
Yeah, because I played the demo, and it was the first couple of demonstration levels.
Yeah, in ancient
tutorial
Greece.
levels.
Yeah.
And then they jump you ahead to Vlad.
Right. Vlad the Impaler.
And that intro, Vlad's intro, is basically like a Castlevania, like the music and everything. Did you play it, Sean?
I heard about that because a friend from work was talking to me about that intro. I didn't get that far because I was trying to play it, but I didn't get to that part. So
it was awesome.
Yeah,
it was like Castlevania ripoff.
And that's awesome.
I mean, homage.
Yeah,
it is somewhat repetitive. I mean, you pretty much end up using 3 boulders every time to destroy the wall. I don't know. Maybe it'll get different as I go further in. I'm not very far in yet, but it's a lot of fun. And it's got some multiplayer modes as well, including skee ball.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah, so you can play with people online, and that'll be a lot of fun. I don't know. It's just a very different, out there sort of game, which from Atlas is not that surprising.
Right.
They had that World War II game that I played, that demo, that real-time strategy, or no, not real-time strategy, turn-based strategy with like the vampires and werewolves and stuff like that.
I thought the look was
Catherine.
Yes, and Catherine. That's right. They did put out Catherine. Yeah, they do crazy stuff. I love them.
I thought the design was cool. I loved the look. I just, when it got into the management, it was too fast for Sean. And I just was like,
see, that's where I'm like,
I really would have preferred some sort of tutorial about the defense.
Agreed. Or at least maybe a round where you didn't have a time limit, the same amount of time limit. Like you had time to understand what was going on, and like maybe an opened ended, you can build stuff and then move on from this, and then that's when we'll start the time or whatever.
Yeah.
Because there really was no practice moment for that.
Right.
It was just do it.
It's like being thrown into chess for the first time, and you're told how the pieces move, but you really have no idea how to strategize.
Exactly.
So, but still a lot of fun. Cool.
Yeah.
And $10.
Yes.
Which is good.
What was not $10, but actually $15 was the Baconing, aka DeathSpank 3.
Yes.
Not its official title, but it is the third segment in the DeathSpank series. DeathSpank has become victorious and has all 5 thongs of virtue.
Spoilers.
And he puts them all on at the same time.
I haven't finished one yet.
I know. And he puts them all on at the same time, and catastrophe happens.
Of course.
So now he has to go destroy the thongs in the Great Bacon Fires. Hence the baconing.
Wow.
And
Awesome.
so it is. If you play the first 2 games, either of the first 2 games, then you have a pretty good idea of what to expect from DeathSpank. I'm sorry, the Baconing. But there are a few differences. One that I noticed is that the game felt, at least in comparison to DeathSpank 2, felt a little more linear in that there wasn't as much going back to places. Like with DeathSpank 2, I felt like I was kind of bouncing around the world in lots of different ways. Whereas with the Baconing, you're just making a forward progression. Which is fine. It's just, it was just something I noticed. A lot of people have been commenting on the combat and its difficulty. It's different. So it can be difficult. It can be difficult, but it can be overcome. And I died a lot playing on normal even. Okay. But the thing is that, and I forgot to check this, but I think they added a shield. I don't remember there being a shield in the first 2, but at the very least, the shield has become like vital, and I think that's the thing that is throwing people off, because if there was, there was
a shield.
There may have been a shield, but I can't remember it because I never used it.
Okay, yeah. Now you have to use it.
Now you pretty much have to, and so the shield will like bash enemies back and kind of stun them, and it'll protect you, obviously. But then also the thing that I was finding was the most difficult were ranged combatants, because there's actually a ton of people with ranged combat, and they do a lot of damage, and so that was killing me a lot early on. But the thing is that when you do, if you have your shield out and you do a shield bash just as a projectile is coming at you, then it reflects it back at the attacker and instantly kills them.
Ooh.
And so once I mastered that, the game became a lot easier. The combat became a lot easier. There was still some really difficult parts. There's a boss battle in particular that was just ridiculous. But then I pushed myself to use more items, strategize my items, using those orbs of invincibility and, the engorge potions.
As opposed to just trying to hack and slash.
Yeah, exactly. And so I had to strategize a little bit more. So you can see that they're working towards making the combat maybe a little more involved rather than just walking through and slapping between X and A.
Exactly. And that's what I was wondering, if it was maybe just, when you get to the third game that's really kind of staying the same, you have to increase the difficulty in some way.
Right.
And so you have to tweak it a little bit as far as the combat-wise, I would think.
There's an achievement for playing it on, or beating it on Insane, though, so I'm like, oh my god, I don't know about that. I don't know, I got pretty good. I was getting better. Once I figured out how to reflect well, then I was able to take out, ranged combatants from a long ways away, and I was still keeping the close combat guys away with my shield bash pretty well. So, you can't run into the middle of the fray anymore like you could in the first 2 DeathSpanks. You have to kind of hold back a little bit more. But hilarious stuff, tons of parodies and puns and homages. DeathSpank, and the outfits, they've streamlined the outfits better, so it's much more likely that you'll get a complete outfit before you start getting a new outfit.
And that's extremely important for you.
It is.
I know it is.
Because it's awesome. Unfortunately, none of the outfits had special abilities. I think in the second one or something like that, like if you had all the pieces for one, if you completed it, it gave you an additional ability or something like that. None of them seem to have that. But there was one that was kind of an homage to BioShock. Yeah, there was one where he's dressed up as Elvis, and he had a golf outfit on, and all sorts of crazy stuff. There was a Norse god outfit, and so you're going through these different areas, going to the 5 bacon fires, and a lot of fun. Yeah, I don't want to give away all the jokes because honestly, that's the best part of the game.
Right.
And there were tons of jokes, and I had a lot of fun playing it. I just beat it this morning, actually, and it was really cool. I dug it a lot. It stands out. I think I still kind of like 2 a little bit better, just because there is so much weirdness in 2, and even though you were kind of backtracking a lot in 2, it felt a little more like you're exploring around, whereas this is far more linear. But
did it feel like more of the same? Because here's my I read from people online that I've been seeing like concerns as far as like if I played the first one, I don't even know if I need to play the second or third because they look the same to me. I mean, I know the story's different.
Yeah.
But I guess the combat's different this time around, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
More so than the 1 or 2 was.
Yeah.
But is it ultimately just the same thing again?
I mean, I mostly play DeathSpank for the entertainment value.
Right.
So, is it another hack and slash? Of course it's another hack and slash. Is the next Resident Evil going to be walking around, standing still, and shooting your gun at zombies? Yeah, it pretty much is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, of course the gameplay is pretty similar.
But the humor's still there. I mean, you're playing a new story.
Yeah, the humor is there, and there's this great thing where whenever you pick up like a rare thing, it's like there's like this fanfare and this choir singing like items of power or items of justice or something, and that's a neat little element in there. I don't know. There's lots of neat little tweaks throughout. I just really enjoyed it a lot.
Cool. Well, at least they didn't just put a different skin on it, and they changed it up somehow, and I think that's awesome.
Agreed.
Yeah.
A lot of old characters show up, so I don't know if you could jump into the baconing. Well, you could. I mean, you could jump in, but you might have a lot of questions. Yeah.
You probably want to start at the beginning of the game like that.
So yeah,
and
it left it open for a sequel.
Here's maybe what
spoiler.
If people haven't played it yet, maybe the idea is not to play all 3 in a row.
What? That sounds awesome.
Or maybe do. I guess it's all if you play they're what, a ton of hours, right?
Yeah.
Playing through them all. So it's no different than playing a 40-hour game all at once.
Yeah, exactly. See?
It's the same deal.
For $45.
Oh, I don't get to the end of Mass Effect after 25 hours and go, I'm still shooting people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I kind of did. I'm kidding. Because I hate Mass Effect.
All right. What else we got?
Red Dead Redemption. Another horse? Come on.
Okay, fuck you about the Red Dead. Whoa. Have you finished it yet?
No.
Come on.
Whoa.
It is amazing. Anyway. What else we got for XBLA?
I talked some Crimson Alliance.
Yeah.
Sure.
Talk a dungeon crawler. A freebie.
Sort of.
Well, I like this.
With
I like
an
this
asterisk.
system.
I like it too.
Yeah, I think you can. There's 3 packs that are up now.
4 technically.
4
because you can purchase the entire thing.
Yeah, all 3 of them, but they're 800 apiece. I think it's 1,200 for the.
Yeah, it's 800 apiece or 1,200 for all 3.
Yeah.
So you make that call.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you really only want to play one type of character,
Then you're an idiot, and you should spend $5 more and buy the whole thing.
that's because you're a completionist, Jeremy.
Well,
Do you want to pay $30 for or $10 for one character, $20 for 2, or $15 for 3?
If you're only going to play one character,
Who's only going to play one character?
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people.
Those people are stupid.
That's because you're a completionist.
If you're
Are you going to play
listening-
through any of them?
No. Will I probably still buy the $15 one? Probably. If you're listening to this now and you bought one character, you're an idiot. No offense. So we're still friends.
That could only open up to maybe new characters. Hopefully,
That's
maybe.
true.
That's
yeah,
possible.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
that's
they'll
a
good
down the
point.
road people like that.
Maybe. But I think of you have a mercenary, a thief, and then a wizard.
Yeah,
I think
wizard.
it off the bat.
I like that you can hear their stories as you're doing the character selection.
Yeah.
I thought that was a neat element.
Yeah, I really like the setup. I thought that I mean, it's a dungeon crawler, kind of the sense of the what is it?
Torchlight?
Torchlight, or I was going to reference the event, the Marvel games, because it's that kind of side,
Marvel's Alliance.
a little bit of the side stuff, and I don't know the
It's
way
totally
that the
full
map,
on Torchlight,
yeah.
too.
But
Except with up to 4-player co-op.
Correct.
exactly,
Which is nice.
Yes.
and
Although
that's,
I
that's
felt-
where the third where's the, because now you got 2 of the same guy out there.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's what I don't like about it.
You can dress them in different colors and give them different names,
I
Sean.
understand that, which I did, Craig. But the thing about it is that it only makes me think that they're gonna put you gotta have 4 different.
Right.
I mean, that's just the way it is.
I agree.
I mean,
I bet that there will be another pack that has probably at least 2 more classes.
They're probably waiting to see how many they sell.
sniper and assassin.
Well, and once you have the
There's
shell,
an assassin.
I know.
once you have
And
the
those are not
shell
D&D
game,
characters.
I mean, the shell game is free, and it's like you're adding in the characters.
Yeah.
That are pay or any of the other options. I mean,
It's like family game night.
It opens up the full gameplay mode when you want to pay
Right.
for it, basically.
Yeah.
So you can't earn any achievements unless you buy any of those packs as
right.
well. So once you have that shell, I mean, they could throw in other characters and it wouldn't be a problem at all. I mean, that's just tweaking any of the information on the back end, right? Like how those characters operate.
Right.
So they could do that ad nauseum at that point.
Right.
Yep.
I would think.
And so it's much simpler than, say, D&D Daggerdale that came out earlier. It is far more like Torchlight, where the combat is fairly simple. You have 4 buttons that are mapped. You can also do some sort of protection. I don't know. I only played as the mage so far.
Okay.
But it was there was a fireball that you could power up as well, and it was pretty cool. I liked it.
I found
I liked it.
I found it to be a little sluggish. Did
Yeah.
you find that at all? I found my guy was moving really slow, and I don't know if that's. I was playing like the.
I don't know. I got the mage. I was just teleporting places.
See, that's awesome. I was using the big bruiser guy, and so he had like a dash that he did with his shield and would like go forward, and that moved faster. So I was just dashing everywhere,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
nonstop, getting around really quick that way. But when I was just walking, I felt kind of slow. I don't know. It was
There are
sluggish a little
also
bit.
quote unquote hidden areas, which is
Yes.
like a room that is like 5 feet off of the way from the main path. But there are like a number of them throughout. So, and I didn't get them all in the first level, so I guess they were pretty well hidden.
And I noticed
I was wondering about that because I was like, I'm finding all these hidden areas really good.
you're that good. Sean.
I know. I was like, wow, I'm amazing.
Totally awesome.
I need to
no,
play
it
this all
mentioned
the
something
time.
about like a special ability.
Yeah.
You collected those things. I could never get that thing to work
Yeah, I don't know if it was at a certain point that you activate that or what.
Maybe.
but
because it was supposed to be
it was
left
supposed to
shoulder
charge
button,
up,
right?
Yeah.
You have to unlock. You have to pay for that special ability.
Yeah, maybe
quite
it is
possible.
part of the.
I couldn't
full game.
remember.
80 cents. They're changing it up.
You know what? They you can apparently, because I went into the store after the first level, you can purchase money in the game. So it's got
Oh, no.
Yeah, so it's got it's microtransactions.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
right. I mean, that's what's funding it at that point.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean,
And I did notice those areas that you ran into that in that first level at least that had a puzzle, and it said you may need more than 2 people to play.
Although
so
you
like
can still figure it out that first
I got it
one.
for the first one, but I wonder if there's ever going to be any, or obviously they're easier probably if you had 2 people because it was. It took me a
Kinda
couple
hard,
tries to get it, but I got it. But I like those ideas of puzzles too, where it was like that Laura Croft idea
that's
of
a
you
good
need multiple
analogy.
people to play.
Yeah, they even had. I think there was one where you like hit a switch and it showed all these like goblets or whatever you want to call them. Yeah, and you had to pick them up really fast to get whatever.
It's like a
gold
POW
or
block in
something.
Mario.
Yeah, so I thought that was. I think exactly.
This
So I
game
thought
rips
that-
off everything.
I hate
Mario,
it already.
Laura Croft, Torchlight.
I thought it
pretty
looked
cool.
good. I kind of fell asleep a couple times while I was playing it, but that was my own problem. But it's not. That wasn't the gameplay. That's just whenever there's reading parts, I'll just sit there
Just
and I'm
falls
like.
asleep.
There was talking too, Sean.
I know there was, and I listened to the talking, and then I'm just like, when you have to press buttons to scroll through talking,
Yeah, and everybody.
Sean tends to.
Anybody who's listening to this that also might listen to the pull list, keep that in mind when you hear Sean's comic reviews. That he falls asleep while he reads. So he
That's a
might
whole-
not know what was
There's
going
pictures involved, and when my guy's just standing there, I can't really do anything. Jeez,
on. Dozing off.
jerks.
Is that it for XBLA? Do we have anything else?
No, we got lots more.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
There's BloodRayne involved.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
BloodRayne and
Get out-
Skydrift.
Get out your umbrellas.
So it's just it for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I can go to sleep.
Yes, exactly. Let me talk about Skydrift real quick here.
Yeah.
I believe this one was 800 points.
I can't remember.
And it's a airplane racing game.
Yeah.
But with also a little bit of combat. I was very much reminded of one of my favorite racing games of all time, Wipeout.
Wipeout. Yep.
The anti-gravity racing game from the for the PS,
Yep.
the PlayStation.
It had it.
And so, yeah, I mean, you're racing planes and you pick up power ups. Some of them are defensive, some of them are offensive, trying to knock people out. You also have a boost that you can use, which is the A button, I believe.
Yes.
The controls are pretty simple.
Very much so. It's very, very hands-on friendly.
Yeah, and the boost
Is it all like from first person view?
No, it's
Or
third
behind
person.
the
It's behind,
show? Okay.
kind of like Snoopy's
I was
flying
going to
ace.
ask if
Yeah,
it was like that.
and so you use up the boost, but you can regain boost by doing like stunts and things like that, like flying low to the water or flying in between rock formations. I also like that the right stick is used to kind of knife your plane, so you can rotate it vertically so that you can get through tighter spaces or turn faster.
You can end up doing a nice be upside down and do a nice roll off of it too. That's awesome.
Do a barrel roll.
That's awesome.
And
oh gosh,
I can't believe you said that, nerd. Because I was just gonna. Because we're that lame.
exactly.
Do a barrel roll.
And I had a lot of fun with it. And the levels are really great looking. I mean, the graphics on there are amazing.
I had a very Hydro Thunder feel to it.
Sure, yeah.
With a mixture of blur mixed into it because it had. I was waiting, but
I didn't scream my Hydro Thunder. I took a big breath for everybody in the room, but then I didn't even do it. I derailed the show
Thanks
anyway.
for taking all the air.
Derailed the show anyway.
I can't breathe. But the power ups were nice. I really thought I'm not a big fan of flying games because of the vertigo that I get, but this one didn't have that.
It's pretty level.
Yep. I mean, it won't let you go too far in the air.
No,
like
you can't flip backwards or anything like that.
Yeah, it keeps you down. There was a couple times where I was doing some good power dives and then I'd go up really quick, and then that was the only other time. But I thought they did a really good job of keeping it that arcade feel. But
yeah,
it looked
got
amazing.
a very strong arcade feel.
Yeah, and I just thought, I liked it. I just wish it was like there's.
I'm seriously considering picking it up.
Me
It's a lot
too.
of fun.
But the thing of like that, I felt that way about Crimson Alliance. It's like I have all these cool games that came out, but I have other games that are like that I don't play. So I don't know. There's something about that. Like I could get back into Blur in a heartbeat if I just played it. And
Did you ever get Snoopy?
No, I did not. But that one was a little too much on the flying aspect.
Yeah, no, that one was full on.
Yeah,
flying. Yeah,
and then I tried that Sims one.
yeah.
And that one
Sims.
was another, the only thing cool about that is you could change the planes up. But but this one I really enjoyed because it was very arcade feel, and I liked the way the levels were set up were really cool.
I agree.
Really cool.
I agree.
Because they would put power ups like low down, like off of the beaten path. So it made you kind of do a trick, and then you could have some fun with it. So.
Yeah, and there are alternate ways that you could go through. With requiring more difficult tricks. Yeah, I liked it quite a bit.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to pick it up. Another game that surprisingly really fun was BloodRayne Betrayal. I mean, I had been seeing things about this and it looked like it was kind of fun, but so they've kind of scrapped the whole BloodRayne line.
BloodRayne, was that a video game before
Yeah.
it became everything else? Okay.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember
It
how
was.
it went.
it was about
Yeah.
a sexy vampire girl.
It's back to its roots, Sean.
Okay.
Of video games.
It's BloodRayne roots.
That's right. And so this
Blood-ridden roots.
BloodRayne seems to take a strong note from the Dishwasher Vampire Smile
Okay.
that I played a while back. It's a side-scrolling beat 'em up with that's combo heavy and just lots of blood flying around.
Yeah, it had it had that cell shading type animation, and then it would
It
go.
looks like a cartoon.
Yeah, but then it would go into the hyper like violent blood just spraying everywhere. But I think it worked.
A lot of enemies that look exactly the same.
Yes, a lot of vampires in suits with
Castlevania
blonde
style.
hair. A lot of Aryan vampires.
It's got a very Castlevania feel too.
Okay.
And that's what I got the gist from it. My only problem was there was like them trying. They kind of went overboard on the controlling because there was one of the controlling is to do a high jump, like a high vault. You have to rechange your guy. So like you're going left.
Oh yeah, you have to like turn around real fast and skid, and then jump, and you do a backflip.
And that sometimes where I'm fighting, if I hit the jump, I was doing that. Like if I got all like crazy
Well, then
with
you
my
can
control.
attack them out of the air.
I know, but it just I was just having a little like the whole Castlevania feel like I was instantly like comfortable until I started playing it, and then the controls kind of messed with me a little bit, and then that's when I was like,
I found the controls to be pretty simple, except for one part where it was like bounce off the heads of the enemies, and I'm like, okay, how do I do this? And then I had to figure out, I have to jump above them, then down attack, and then I bounce. Okay,
See, I didn't even get because I couldn't even
like Zelda 2 style.
yeah,
Like with your down slash.
yes,
and you're bouncing off the guy.
pretty much. I think she's got a down slash.
That's awesome.
bing, bing, bing. That was awesome. Yeah,
And then you can also use like the B button. So if you hit an enemy a couple times, they'll be like minorly stunned for like a half second. And if you're close enough and you press B, she'll grab them and start sucking their blood. And if you press like Y, then they'll be infected. Like you can continue sucking the blood and then heal yourself. So that's one way that you can heal yourself.
Yeah.
There are also these blood fountains that if you walk past them, then you're fully healed, which is a nice arcadey thing to stick in there.
Yeah.
But if you press Y instead, then they become infected. And basically, I can't remember, maybe you press B again, and they'll explode and blow up the enemies around them, too.
Yeah,
Nice.
That's where the blood comes in. The rain of blood.
Yes.
But I couldn't get past.
She rides in on a rocket coffin.
That's true. She's dropped in. It's like totally like Predator. Like, but just dropped in. The coffin opens. I just had one problem with one part of the level, and I couldn't get past it. And I think that's maybe I need to try some more out on it. I just got really frustrated with the game.
Well, that's what happened with me with the Castlevania disc game.
See?
Unfortunately,
It's like-
what did you get stuck on?
It was that one part where you constantly were fighting waves of people and constant waves of people, and it's just like I wouldn't be close enough to grab them, but she'd still do the animation. Then I'd
I
get
see.
smacked, and
Yeah.
it was just like, or get shot in the back, and I was like, because you also have a gun, which I
You
thought
do
was
have a gun.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has a limited number of bullets, and you have to pick up ammo. It doesn't regenerate ammo, but it's pretty good because you can take out several dudes at the same time.
Yeah, I just need to maybe give it a little bit more time and not be so frustrated with it. But controlling was
I
frustrating.
got an F on my rating for that first level, though.
F.
And I thought I was doing a lot of comboing, so they want you to do a lot of comboing. Well, there's also like time things, like you get into those areas like Sean was talking about, and it's got like a timer, and so you can earn bonus points if you finish them off faster.
Can I tell you that maybe
And hit the lights. Always hit the lights.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize for a long time that you can knock out the lights. The lights will burn you or any other vampire.
Always
makes
hit
sense.
out. Always hit out the lights.
Yeah, but I didn't realize that you could actually damage them and knock them off and get points for it.
Yeah.
And you can also break treasures and stuff. So there's a lot in there. There's these skulls that you can go searching for. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because there's
floating
one at the
around.
very beginning. I was like, oh, backtrack. It was like classic game there. It's like I'll go past back to the other side where it stops. Oh, there was something there. So I had a hit and miss with
just
me.
to go back to what you said about the rating, there is nothing in a game that makes me care less than when it gives me a rating.
Oh,
Like instantly, whenever
I don't
a game,
care about the ratings.
You know what I mean? There's so
usually.
many games that do that though. Like with those kind of games where it's like you got this rating on this level, and I'm like, I could give a shit what I just got for a rating
just
on that
finished
level.
it.
I don't even
it's
care.
for replayability.
I know it totally is, and I can't think of another like video game trope like that I care less about.
Yeah.
Like, or mechanic, I should say, that I care less about than a rating at the end.
Yeah.
Like I don't care at all.
But you know, just like with Vampire Smile, the gameplay really kind of won me over.
Yeah.
Despite my initial revulsion to the subject
Matter. Yeah.
And it was really stylish, and it played really fluidly. I mean, there was a couple things with the tutorial that I got confused with, but I thought overall it was pretty darn awesome.
I dug the style a lot. I thought the look was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll give it another try, a college try.
give it the old college.
Yeah, I'll give
Do it.
no try. I haven't erased. I erased all my other stuff, so there must be something that's holding on to me
There's
about it.
something.
There
It's
is.
that Castlevania feel. I mean, I can't get past that. So
And you love sexy vampires
I do.
covered in blood.
Yes.
She heel stomps dudes on the ground.
Because you love Vampirella and Lady Death.
Red.
Oh, wait, she's not.
She's not
a vampire.
Is she?
She's
I
dead,
don't
just
even know.
dead.
She's dead.
Who cares?
And a lady. Lady.
What about anything else?
We go to Leedmees.
Leedmees.
Awesome. I was
Go-
hoping someone would talk about this game.
Leedmees, and you are the leader. I
And the controller.
You
And the
start
platform.
You start out as this. The story is about this giant.
Oh, it's got a story.
Yeah, it does. It has a story. You
What?
start out as this you show up in this land and you're just this weird giant stick
Gulliver.
man, and you're just standing there, and then these little guys are walking and they're just walking against your feet, so you kind of then you help
let them by, yeah.
and then you go, well, what are they doing? Oh, I'm going to follow them.
It is a Kinect game.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Which we
like
didn't mention.
Oh, it is a
In
Kinect
case people
game.
don't know.
Yes, that's right. It is, and it sold for 800 points on the arcade. But yeah, it's you just kind of lead him, and then he follows him, and then you just help him get to other places. So there's this little portal. There's a blue portal and a red portal. You try to get him.
I played this game.
Yes, and you try to get him. You try to get him in the red portal before GLaDOS gets him. But and then there's these stars to pick up, and so you want to get there's a target amount of Leedmees. There's a target amount of them to get in there, but you also have to like kind of move them to get to the stars. If they fall from too high, they just die. If you bring your hand down or foot down or anything, they die. So that took a little getting used to, because I wasn't sure how that even was. Like, they didn't really say, well, don't hit them or anything. It's just like, help them. And I'm like, okay, well, one got behind my hand, and when I brought it down to try to like get him back up, he was right underneath it. It just squished him. And it was like, don't kill him. I'm like, well, I didn't know that. So I thought
and
it was...
then you just started stomping on the rest of them.
That's exactly what happened. I was just like, well, I'm trying this whole level over again. So I was like, wah! And I'm just hitting them.
I was just Godzilla it all
yeah, I
over the
did.
place.
I was.
You get them all in your arms and then just like throw your arms up and have them go flying.
You can pick, like, there was
I think
like...
this is Jeremy's new favorite game.
I had a couple that were going up my left arm, and I had one in my right, and it wasn't turning around, because you have to kind of get an angle so they keep going, and then they'll turn around on their own, or if they hit something.
Right.
So I was like, well, I've tried to flip him.
I see where this is going.
And it just went, whee! And I was like, and then I'm like, well, what if I just kind of flip it a little bit? And I played around with
so there is a lot of physics to it too.
Yeah.
So you toyed with their lives.
A little bit. And then there's some that you can just put your hand down, like you lean down, and they grab a hold of it and then crawl up your arm. And then you just level up your arm. There's some really cool like additions to the game, and it's like I said, it's 800 points, $10. I had a lot of fun with this one. I didn't get to play the 2-player of it.
Okay.
So
is it 2-player local?
It's I believe so. I believe
that'd be tough.
I believe it's 2-player.
Is there
local.
online Kinect stuff? Oh yeah, there is, like with Kinect Adventures and stuff.
But yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. I did get to play some 2-player hole in the wall, and that was fun. That got really interesting.
I bet it got interesting. Is that fun to play with your family?
There's one square, and we had to get in. Oh, it was crazy.
I bet that's something to play with your significant other, not a family member.
Exactly. That was
lots of closeness
at that point. Yeah, especially with the pictures that show.
Hey, Grandma, can you back up on this?
Yeah,
so we need to fit into this position.
She could be standing in the foreground.
Hey, Grandma, can you get underneath me?
Yes. I would ask my grandma to do that.
Now jump.
If she was playing hole in the wall with me. But I think Leedmees, it's a fun game. It looks, I love the design. The backgrounds are cool. Some of the puzzles get really crazy, and I just think it's neat to just pick these little guys up.
Right.
And I
awesome.
didn't know what to think about when I first saw pictures. I just thought we were just moving them like point A to point B. But sometimes the portals change too. So then like you have to like hook your arm and hold a bunch of them, and they're all like, and some will just decide to jump once in a while. And it's like, stop.
It seems like the kind of thing where I'd be focusing on one arm and then not paying attention with my other arm
as they're all dropping off the lake.
And your arm starts,
sons of bitches.
And you're like, my arm's starting to get tired, and I got to hold all these guys.
Oh yeah, because you would just naturally like be dropping your arm, probably not even realizing.
And you're like, so there's that little part into it. But I had a lot of fun with it.
So if you ever played Lemmings and you're just like, God damn it, why don't you just go the direction I want you to go?
If only I could play Lemmings and have to stand here in the middle and move my arms around.
And
now you can.
Yes, you can.
Can you headbutt them?
I didn't try that.
That's your next mission.
It tells you not to lean forward at all.
So no, I'd headbutt sideways.
Ooh, bam.
But does it move your head?
Well,
Squish
the head
them with
really
your
does.
head.
The head really doesn't move too much
just move your arms and legs.
they
Can
walk
you squat
across
on them.
You can
Can I
stomp on
teabag
them.
them all to death?
You kind of turn into this weird like stick figure when you squat.
That's fine.
And so
I don't care what I look like as long as I can teabag them to death.
I had to get really low at one point. So
I'm gonna get them all on the ground and then just like hop up and down on them.
jeez.
It's like two giant construction balls destroying their life.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They are pretty giant. But
well, to them, they're little guys.
then they also there's a part where you couldn't go outside some of the. You had to stay in the middle.
Oh, okay.
So then it was like, it was fun. I had some fun with it.
It sounds cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then Gunstringer demo.
Yeah, I did not. I'm holding off for the full release.
A lot of fun. A lot of fun. Yeah, that's all I got to say.
That's all you're gonna say?
No, I thought it was really.
You can say stuff about it.
How is it controlling the Gunstringer?
Really cool.
Yeah.
I thought I did.
Pretty easy to do.
Yeah, and the tutorial for the demo is fantastic. The gun is awesome. Like, pointing.
How was it shooting and everything?
It worked really well. It was just
Nice.
like, I kept my fingers. I don't think you have to keep them in the gun.
But why wouldn't you?
But exactly. But I thought that was really neat, especially when you're controlling both him and the gun. And then, like, because you're moving your left hand left and right for him to move left and right, or you pull it up for him to jump and things like that. So there's different things where you take cover and then you have to lean out of cover. Really cool. But the story behind it is really cool because it's just like some kind of play or it's really
at the theater.
Yeah, and there's like people in the crowd and that's all live stuff.
Yeah.
So
They
I
did an
thought
open casting for that you could go down to Austin.
it
on
looked-
They didn't
Saturday
even
or
know what
whatever.
they're going for.
No, you just had to show up and basically sit in the audience.
it
and they
looked
were
like some
filming
of them. Yeah, you could see that's why they were. Because it's a little over. Some of them is a little like, their facial expression.
over-
I think those
Excited?
are I watched something from
I'd be excited.
Yeah. Oh, I would too.
convention they were at or whatever, and some of those were on purpose.
Yeah, some are, and it works with the story, and like you can hear a whole like there's a like a laugh track behind it, and like applause and things like that
While you're doing stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then like the story
Is awesome.
The story, I can't wait to play this game. Although I'm a little upset it comes with Fruit Ninja.
Yeah. Did you not know that ahead of time? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't tell
So
you
that's
that.
probably it's going to be a $50 release.
Fruit Ninja's going to get some DLC.
Yeah, it's got some
now
already?
you can.
background stuff.
Oh boy. So if you didn't already pay $10 for your overpriced Fruit Ninja game, you can now buy a different background color.
Exactly. I'm hoping it's a code because then I can give the code out.
It is a code, I believe.
And that's awesome.
So you'll be able to share that with a
That's
friend.
awesome.
So there you go.
Or a listener.
Fuck them.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Jeremy wants you to give it to him.
I'm buying the game. I'll have my own. I think
give out.
I think it comes with free DLC too.
Oh, awesome.
Day one DLC in the game. So like another add-on level or something like that.
That's awesome.
I think that's included in the disc release.
But
I'm buying it this week. It comes out this week. So I'm
I'm
buying
looking
it.
does it?
forward
Wow,
to it.
okay.
It was a lot of fun. Just the presentation was cool, and it makes me realize that's why it's a disc game. It's a disc release because of this like story they have going on.
And I'm
with
happy
the-
they have a first disc release.
Yeah,
Good
that
for
too.
them.
Yeah,
Yay!
Yeah.
really cool
Yeah,
stuff.
no, that's good.
And I want that puppet.
Like a real
Yes.
mannequin or not mannequin.
Marionette.
Marionette, thank you.
That marionette
I can't
is
think.
awesome. Like them carrying it around. And
They make those maquettes on their site, those statues.
Yeah.
And they have all those made up. They should do like a really expensive, like $400 marionette.
He's
that's like
cool looking.
$400. They make 5 of them. I'm in. I'll buy that.
It's
awesome.
It's really fun if you got Kinect. I don't know why you haven't. Well, unless you're Jeremy, I don't know why you haven't tried
You're a
Gunstringer
big
demo
baby and
out.
don't
Yeah.
want to ruin anything.
I finished up Child of Eden myself.
Oh, hey, nice.
This week, and they have an option to invert the colors. While you're
When you're
playing.
done?
Yeah.
After you beat it?
Yeah. So then it'd be white instead of.
Interesting.
I haven't tried it yet, so stay tuned.
Sounds like it would melt your eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
Be like El Shaddai.
I don't even know what that means, but it's making my head hurt.
No, that game.
He
Remember
doesn't know what that means. He doesn't remember.
that crazy game? The God references.
He never played it, I don't think.
Oh, you didn't play that one.
The demo. It came out. I wanted to play it. I never got around to it. I think it came out while I was deployed.
What El Shaddai?
Deployed to my hell station. So I didn't get to play it. But I do want to still
Fort
check that
Hell.
game out someday. Child of Eden, Best Buy had it last week for all of...
$5.
They had $10.
$10.
Wow.
For all of a couple hours, and then they raised it to 20. So I think it was an error. It was
Wow.
supposed to be 20.
Yeah.
Even 20 is a good deal.
Yeah,
though.
that is.
I didn't get out and pick it up, but they had it for $10, and I'm super mad I didn't jump on it.
Yeah, I was.
They
I
sold
was
out pretty quick.
I was getting made fun
Yeah.
of because I was
Online.
dancing. while I was playing. I couldn't get past that last level forever, and I finally was like, I'm going to do it.
Made fun of by your lady?
Well, yeah. I'm not made fun of, but she's like, why are you dancing? I was like, it helps me. I keep with the beats, and then that gives me the, I can get the, whatever, the bonuses, which adds to my life. And
I need to get in touch with her, and so she can call me and be like, Sean's dancing, playing Child of Eden, and she can put on speaker or something and be like, you suck, loser. Just I can heckle you
then
from,
you try
from
to
my
video
home.
chat connect.
I should. Why don't we chat?
well, you have a little Jeremy in a box. You suck.
You look like a retard.
You're stupid. I would never play that game.
All right.
On purpose.
Speaking of looking like a moron, I played Rise of Nightmares.
Wow, nice.
More Kinect
Also
corner.
for the Kinect. This was a disc release that came out this last week. It is a horror game from Sega.
I'm interested in this.
You should check it out. It is not good. Okay, here's the thing.
It is not good.
It controls much better than it should.
Really?
Like, I didn't expect it to control well at all.
Yeah.
So the fact that it does anything right is like, above.
It doesn't immediately start your Xbox smoking. You're like, victory!
Going above my bar. That's correct.
Sega logo comes up. All right.
Now, the story is
1,000 gamer
a
points.
ridiculous horror, hostile,
Yeah.
torture porn kind of story.
Yeah.
Where it's like they're mixing
Did
hostile...
Sega make like the House of the Dead series?
It's exactly what it's like.
Yeah.
Except amped up even more. So now you're like sitting across from people getting their hands chopped off and blood spraying everywhere.
Nice.
So it has that hostile element
Okay.
to it. But then it's basically those elements on top of a House of Dead game.
Right.
Where you're moving around, and it would have the voice acting and the animation that you would expect from those kind of games. I
Yeah.
mean, it's that level that you're
Right.
dealing with.
Sure.
So the voice acting is kind of all over the place, and it's not that great, but it's also hilarious because it's terrible.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As far as the controls, though, I wasn't expecting them to be. Half of the reason I wanted to play the game was just out of curiosity of how they were going to handle it. I mean, because this is a full game that you're
Right.
going to be walking around and attacking people with, and they do it pretty well. I mean, you stand there and you put a step forward to walk forward, and however far you put your foot forward is how fast you move.
Like the hokey pokey.
Exactly right. And then you go backwards, you put your foot backwards.
When do you shake it all around? What does it do?
I didn't try that yet.
Kill a
but-
bunch of zombies when you shake it all around. That's what it's all about.
You pivot your shoulders. You pivot your shoulders to turn left and right or to look left and right.
Yeah.
It's really hard to train yourself to stop.
Yeah.
Like once you turn to stop that you're there, and it's a little latent,
Yeah.
it goes past where you wanted to look at, and it's a little awkward to turn and then step forward, and then so it gets a little.
That's what I've heard is the difficult part.
It gets a little messed up. So what they've done in the game, and this is probably an admission right off the bat that they know it doesn't work, is you can raise your arm at a 90-degree angle, and it goes into an auto move mode, where it basically just takes you to where you're supposed to go, and your guy moves. And so if there's enemies or anything, you can stop it at any time. So if you see things or want to do something, but in the meantime, you can raise your arm up at a 90-degree angle, and as long as you hold it there, you're in auto move, and he basically turns to where you need to go and walks there.
Oh, that's cool.
That's really handy because
Yeah.
there's times I don't want to deal with it.
Right.
So that's nice. There's a lot of interaction with elements, like you get to a door and you have to slide it open. You have to pull back or pull forward. There's lots of things like that. You have to pick things up, and so you have to actually do those motions. You have to
Very
crouch
cool.
down. There was some things where I had to
You
run.
have to chop off hands.
You didn't have to chop off hands, but not yet. But you had to run in the segment. You had to swim, so I had to do
Use
all
the
that
restroom.
stuff. You do go splash water on your face, and you do have to do that.
Nice.
Oh,
That
I'm
is
sure you
great.
don't have to.
That's
I'm sure if
awesome.
you move your arm up, it would register. But
the peripheral,
awesome. I
the
like
toilet peripheral.
Toilet peripheral.
I should sell that.
Heard there's a
great.
bowling ball one coming out. That makes sense.
That's great. That's as good as the raft one that you stand in for the adventure.
Yeah, exactly.
You stand in a raft.
People were having
20
problems with their
bucks.
Wii remotes getting thrown in TVs. A bowling ball peripheral? Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Anyway.
So, and then you get to the combat. And so you put up your arms like in a boxing motion. So like you would do with Wii Boxing, for instance.
Sure.
And you are punching forward. Ooh, I just hit the mic. I'm actually doing it
Wow.
here.
Violent.
But you can also pick up weapons.
Now I feel like I'm in the game.
I'm going to punch you in a minute. Stab you with this knife. You can pick up weapons.
We keep knives on the table when we do the podcast.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So what happens as long as you have your arms up,
Yeah.
you're in like an attack motion, and it goes to your closest enemy. So it will autofocus
That's
onto
good.
them as if you have your arms up. Which is good because you'll get surrounded once in a while. So basically, I'm just flailing away, like trying to kill this
Like
zombie
usual.
or whatever. Exactly. And if you have weapons, obviously you're doing more damage. I'm trying to remember. I think you
And they
can-
break, don't they?
they do break down after a while. Yeah, I think you can kick as well. So if you kick, it like
Nice.
kicks them back a little
Yeah.
bit. I like the autofocus, and as long as you have your hands up in front of
You
you,
should try the headbutt.
I should try the headbutt. I don't know if you can. You probably, I don't know. You probably can.
You probably
Because it just
can.
has the arms that show up.
Connect game makers, get on the headbutting.
Headbutt's what's
we
really
need more
missing from the
headbutting in
Kinect.
games.
So you gotta put that Mortal Kombat. You break the boards with your head.
But if you have your arms up in front of you, you will auto block as well. So if you're not
That's
swinging
cool.
and you have them up, they attack you. You'll basically just block the attack. So you kind of can time it, but it was really just more me flailing around. And I ran into a section the other day when I was playing it where I went through this really long section where I fought a ton of enemies. And 2 days later, seriously, my arm, like, because it took a couple days for it to kick in.
Right.
But I'm sure you got it from the
That
Ninja.
fruit ninja. Oh my lord!
Because I wasn't doing anything like
I
that.
told Summer she could put weights on her arms, and then she tried it. She goes, "I'm not putting weights on." I'm like, "I was just saying you could."
And it'll hurt in 2 days.
Yeah, exactly.
My whole arm, I like raised it up like a couple days later, and I was like so sore down the side of my body. I'm like, really? But it's even though it's just short bursts, I mean, you're basically just swinging wild, not
Yeah.
thinking about
Yeah.
it. But the story is ridiculous. The voice acting is lame, and you know it is just an ultra violent.
What if they made a Connect Deadly Premonition?
That's kind of close to what you have here. It's pretty much what it
See?
is, except it's got the more of the torture porn in it.
Just the out
That'd be
there,
terrible.
an out there story.
It's just funny to me. I mean, it is very mature.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all kinds of
Right.
swearing. There's all kinds of violence. And
Which I
so
think
it
is the whole point of the
real-
game.
Exactly. It's the first mature game, I would say,
And
for
that's
this, right?
mature in quotation marks there.
Correct. Mature as in far as, like, bloody and swearing and nudity. It's just funny to me, like, 2 years ago, people were all mad
Yeah.
about, like, you can't have them actually doing the motions with a Wii controller, like, of stabbing somebody. And now I'm just sitting there with a knife and, like, hacking people's arms off and cutting their heads off. And it's like nobody gives
I
a
don't
shit.
think you're really supposed to have a knife when you play that, Jeremy. It'll simulate the knife.
But I'm simulating those things. And it's like, maybe if this game was higher press, then, Fox News could run it down. But nobody's
Yeah.
talking about it at all.
Yeah, you got a good point there. You
It's
actually
like nobody
do.
even gives a shit. I'm just like cutting people's heads off and
Oh, they
whatever.
you gotta wait till
It's a murder sim.
You gotta wait till Grand Theft puts out a Kinect, and
Correct.
then that's when they'll be like, "Oh, you're killing hookers on the street."
it's not enough money in Rise of Nightmares for them to get mad about it at this point. But so if you don't
Sega's
mind,
actually crossing their fingers, hoping they'll do that.
don't exactly.
That's free publicity,
We've
right
done
there.
what we could. We've tried to put out so many videos to show how terrible this
We
is.
should have strangled a baby,
Then that would have got them.
Yikes!
a possessed baby.
Yes, a demon
you.
baby.
Just-
Thanks
thank
for
you.
clarifying.
Yeah, I just
I
want
was
to
a
make
little
sure.
concerned, Sean.
Got to kill that baby. So here's the thing: I would recommend it if you're into those kind of games, like those horror kind of games and over the top, and if you just want a different Kinect experience,
Yeah.
because this is at least the one that's like adding in a bunch of elements and doing it well,
Right.
For the most part, you're gonna fight with some of the like walking around segments,
Right.
that don't have the auto move. Most of them do, but some of them don't, and you're gonna struggle through some of those probably.
Yeah.
But it's still an interesting experience if you have a Kinect. I
Yeah.
would recommend checking it out.
Cool.
I don't know about buying it, but check it out.
I'm
if
definitely
you
gonna
can.
check it out. Yeah,
You should. And then I also played some Deus Ex, which I don't have a lot to say about, unfortunately, because I think it's a long ass game, and I
Yeah.
did not allow myself to get sucked into it because I don't have the time for it right now.
Right.
But I want to play the
That's why I'm
whole
barely
thing.
playing any
Cool.
disc games right now.
It's time wise, you mean?
Yeah.
I know. The game is awesome. It's really well done. I didn't ever play the original Deus Ex. This is actually a prequel of now.
Oh,
Of the
okay.
lead up to that game. But you're playing as Adam Jensen, who's this like security guard guy for this corporation that is working on augmenting like humans and adding in cybernetics and things like that. And then there's this big attack that happens, and you wake up like 6 months later or something like that, and you've been implanted with all these cybernetics where you almost died. And so now you're kind of forced into that side and that world of it where you're running around with cybernetics and augmentations and trying to figure out basically you have the people that you worked for, which are the people that are leading that front, and then the anti people who are trying to like sabotage and not change.
Is there hacking?
There is hacking.
Wow.
Of course.
I'm surprised.
It's very cyberpunk and all that kind of stuff, you know. And I will say this, though, the hacking element of it, there's a lot of interesting things. I like the stuff that's layered around. There are ways to find key codes and passwords, and like you can get into a ton of different computers, but you have to have the password for it. And if you don't, you have the option to hack if you have a high enough skill. And so you can hack into these systems if you don't have the passwords.
Right.
But the hacking system's kind of convoluted. It's weird. I didn't really get it. And maybe I'm just stupid. But there were all these elements as far as like you were going into these different servers, and there was like securities that would get raised, and you could put defenses on things. So it wasn't like a simplistic pipe puzzle from
Bioshock.
Man,
it wasn't a pipe puzzle. It was definitely one of the better thought out hacking systems that I've seen in a game, and it definitely made sense context wise. It's just I think it was too smart for me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like
Yes. That definitely makes sense.
They were giving me the tutorial, and I was like, you ass. They were giving me the tutorials, and I was like, I don't understand anything you're saying right now to me. And maybe it was my state at the time, but I don't know. It was interested.
You know what's hilarious? You guys have been talking about Kinect games for so long that when you started talking about this, I was imagining that it was a Kinect game.
And I was moving around.
Yeah, you would move around, and then you go up to a computer and like wiggle your fingers like you're typing on a keyboard.
Yes. I was like Minority Report. I was just moving. Yeah, I had the gloves on, and I was just moving around everything.
Somebody needs to get on that.
Here's the thing, Mike. I really like the style of the game. I've only played a couple of the first missions, and I know it opens up like really wide after that. But I like that there's multiple options to go in and do things. You can play really the whatever way you want to, and it kind of reminds me of what was that game you played that you loved that I never got around to? That you could play the role-playing game.
There's like a dozen of them.
Alpha Protocol.
Alpha Protocol. Thank you, Sean.
Okay,
I didn't think that the help was going to come from that direction, but it did.
It
today.
happens.
That's because he doesn't play the game.
Write it down.
That's awesome. Where you could play different options. You could go in with different styles.
Yeah.
And that's definitely what this feels like. You can go in all stealthy, or you can go in guns blazing, which I kind of like going in stealthy, and I didn't get to go in as stealthy as I wanted to because you get the option to go in lethal or like trank darts. And I wanted to go trank darts. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to be the super badass guy. I'll just take everybody out with a trank dart. And then I got in there and I was like, fuck this, I'm shooting everybody in the head because it's so hard to do.
Yeah.
They alert,
awesome.
they come over. It was awesome where you could set people up as far as like they had guards on patrol. You could knock a guy out. They'd come along him. He'd be knocked out, and they would actually wake them back up.
Ooh.
But so the people were coming back.
Nice.
But as he bent over, if you like got it on top of him in time, he wouldn't be able to wake him up, and then I could take out that guy as well. So I would like trank a guy. They'd walk over to him and be like, what's going on here? And they'd bend over, and I'd trank that guy. So basically I'd have a pile of like 3 dudes laying on top of each other.
I didn't get any photos. I
should have. Damn it.
That room from Red Dead was awesome.
So it does have that definite like science fiction feel to it because it does have the augmentation. Your level up, you get these praxis points that you can put into your different augmentations. And I swear I spent about 10 minutes staring at that screen when I got my first point because there's so many things.
Yeah.
And it's like you can jump higher. You can put things in where you make no sound when you move. You can put things in where you make no sound when you run. You can put things in where you like land and from whatever distance you take no damage. You're basically increasing your machine abilities.
Nice.
You can see through walls. You can increase your radar stuff, health, things like that. And there was just so many options. And the screen is awesome because it's like the body of the dude, and then you would go to the different areas like his eye for his like seeing through walls.
Like operation.
That's cool.
It was awesome.
That's cool.
I mean, the presentation style is just really tight with the game, in my opinion. And it had a definite Mass Effect feel for me, which was fantastic. The music was really Mass Effect, the score, which I loved. But it was like running around playing a stealthy Mass Effect, which I'm all about. Being badass and then
So
just
like
taking...
2 things I'm not good at. Stealth or Mass Effect.
But it was fun.
Yeah.
OMG,
That's cool.
shut up.
I will say
You gotta hate on Mass Effect.
I'm a hater.
I love the variety of being able to play the different styles. The only other big complaint I had was, probably the only complaint in general, is the voice acting. Some of it is kind of varied. There are some that are really good. There are some that are really not good.
Yeah.
And then the main guy who you're playing, unfortunately, I can't stand his voice whatsoever. Did you hear any of his stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Is it all bristled?
How's it going?
Well, it's even worse than that. It's almost like he's trying to be Timothy Olyphant from like Justified,
Yeah.
like trying to do like Clint Eastwood, but like doing it with no inflection whatsoever. It's like so many ways like driven down. But whenever I realize that he sounded like Timothy Olyphant, that's like all I can hear now.
Yeah.
But it sounds like him with no like raising of his voice and like no inflection. But now it's all I can hear, and it's driving me crazy. Because it's like a poor man's Timothy Olyphant. It's terrible.
So he's Tom Cruise.
Maybe. Is he a poor man's Timothy Olyphant?
I'd say it.
You just
I have
did.
no idea
know.
what this conversation is about.
I know. You don't know anything about TV.
That's right.
You don't got time for that. You're reading books.
You reading
I think you're
books.
better than us with reading your fancy books.
My fancy comic books.
That's right. That's true. So, other than the voice acting, though, I'm enjoying it quite a bit, and I want to spend a ton more time with it. I don't know what's going to happen right now because I have a ton of stuff coming up and other things I'm playing. But
These obligations you have.
I know. TV.
Yeah, that's going to
I'm
be
a
starting
loser.
pretty soon.
But I'm sure that once around the holidays comes and all those other new releases come out, it'll take a hit on the price, and then I'll probably look at it.
Yeah, you could buy it and then just put it with the rest of your games.
I was gonna say I'll set it on top of my sealed copy of Dead Rising 2.
There you go.
I should borrow that from you.
You should. You would have to open it.
Is that what's preventing you?
No, my own mental illness is what's preventing me because I'm legally tarded. All right. So enough about Deus Ex because I don't have enough to talk about any further. But how about some Dead Rising?
Or Dead Island.
Did I just say Dead Rising?
Yeah,
you did.
It's
Dead
about
Island.
It's close. It's close.
Dead Island is a mix of a lot of games.
Yeah, it is.
What do you think, Sean?
At first, I really did not like it at all.
Oh, really?
Well,
It's a rough start. It is honestly a rough
yeah.
start.
It's first the first person. I mean, I didn't read anything into this game other than just seeing.
You're going in blind.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's zombies. That kind of. I'm into that kind of world.
Resort
So
Isle.
yeah, it's last resort,
He likes resorts.
Yeah.
dead
it is.
resort, or whatever it's called.
No, it was the last resort.
Last resort, yeah, and I was like that already. That's interested. It's a self-contained. It's an island, so there's your land. You don't have to. You walk to water. You don't
Right.
walk to a bunch of cars stacked on each other. And you're like, how did that
Yeah.
happen? I always hate that about zombie apocalypse movies. You walk to the road with
Things that
blocked
never
off.
happen.
and huge fences that go around the whole town. And you're like, wait, how did this happen? But anyway, like
That's a good point. This is actually really realistic that way.
and it
Because
has
it feels like a real place.
yeah, and it's set up like it's set up. But initial feelings of the game, I was like, first person. This is driving me nuts because I don't know who's attacking me. I can't see him. Oh, they ran right past me. Although I thought I hit him. But once I started actually getting into it and actually playing it,
Yeah.
had a lot of fun with it. It's got the Borderlands. It's got Borderlands feel for me.
In what way?
Well, one because it's multiplayer.
Okay.
And two, because I like it. I can't block it in with Fallout. I can't block it in with
Left 4 Dead?
well, no, Left 4 Dead. It's got that feel to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dead Rising?
Well, in Dead Rising as
It's
well.
all these games combined into one. But it's like the best parts of those games combined
Yeah.
into one. That's the thing.
But it's like an RPG game that I can get into, and it's not. It doesn't feel as big as Fallout, or feel as big as I can't even think of another name.
Oblivion?
Oblivion. And I don't feel I felt overwhelmed at first with some of the
Arcanine.
side quests that I was doing, and then I'm like, crap, that's why, Sean, you're taking all these side quests. Just
Right.
stay on the major quests and do all. And once I started figuring out the lay of the land, and then I got to go to that place so I can load up on these other fetch quests because I'm going to go that way. So that kind of changed the gameplay.
To
for
feed
me.
into your Borderlands question of how maybe it reminds, you do have the co-op option of playing, I think is up to 4 people.
4 people, yep.
So it has that Borderlands meets Left 4 Dead style where you're in the environment of a Left 4 Dead, but you're playing through missions and quests like you would in Borderlands.
Yeah,
I see.
So you're playing like Left 4 Dead, but not in a linear fashion.
I see.
So you're all just tooling around this island, which has got to be awesome if you have 4 people playing.
that would be pretty sweet.
Wouldn't it be awesome?
That would be really, really cool.
I'm really leaning towards buying this game, honestly.
Because like once the vehicles come into play, that's awesome. But just the whole scope.
Oh, do you have vehicles too?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I haven't even got to that part yet.
And that would be my
They're
first.
rare and they're fragile.
That's awesome, though.
It's my first kind of gripe with the game,
Okay.
other than being first person, because the driving, it's just your first person where you're at behind the drivers, and all the wheels are on the other side. Because they're on the right side and not the left.
Oh, because you're in Australia.
So I
or
got
down in that area. Right?
Yeah, so I got in a car and I'm like, "Where's the steering wheel?" It said I could drive it, and then I look over. I'm like, my character moves over, and then in the meantime, all these zombies are attacking, and that would be that moment that I wish someone else was playing, and they were in the back of the truck shooting people, and they're like, "Why aren't you going?" It was like, I'm on the wrong side of the car, but. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I haven't gotten that far into it because I got stuck in a lot of the fetch quests, but I have a lot of fun.
The game feels huge to me.
Yep.
Like the map looks huge, and I was walking around, and we were talking about it on the way down, but you do cover some area quite a bit.
Yeah.
You can cover it quickly.
Yeah, there's fast travel when you find the maps.
Right.
Yeah.
And but outside of that, it just felt like it's big. And
Yeah.
like there's a whole areas that I haven't even like touched yet, and I'm not going to probably for a long time.
Are they bad touch areas?
Yes.
Probably.
A lot of bad
depending on the
touch
zombies.
areas.
But you know, here's the other thing where it's a little. It reminds me a lot of Left 4 Dead just in the way that you're playing, but then it's got that Dead Rising element where, and I'm not saying that it's like ripping these games off. It's melding all these really good options for these games or these qualities of these games into one playable experience. And it's got the Dead Rising where you're picking up tons of different weapons and you're changing out. You can modify those weapons. You can upgrade them. You can repair
Those
them.
also break too, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep, they all break apart. So
You can repair them.
and you come around workbenches and you can repair them or upgrade them.
Yeah.
But you know, it has that Left 4 Dead feel, but it doesn't have the mass of zombies like the swarm.
Yeah.
The swarm that I've seen thus far has only been like 4 or 5 that'll come running at you, and that's almost a worse situation because it becomes just plowing through like a pack of them. But when there's only like 4 or 5, or there's 1 or 2, and you get into this lulled into this false sense of like security
Right,
where you're walking around and then you'll just hear something and you'll turn around and there's like a guy stumbling at you. And that's, I mean, it legitimately has scared me a couple times.
I agree. There's moments where you're walking around and it seems like you're repeating. You're going to the same kind of bungalow and it has the same kind of pool, and you walk into this one bungalow and it's not the same, and it's just horrific. And you're like, I'm going to turn around. And you do, like, it stops you in your tracks. And I think that's the other cool part to it, is that you just kind of you get soaked in and you're like, well, this is just a RPG. It's fetch quest. I'm moving. And you don't know what kind of zombies you're dealing with, because there's some that are infected and they'll spot you and they'll come running. And then there's other ones that are just walkers and they're just kind of walking. And there's others that are eating. And if you interrupt that, maybe they'll come at you. But if you go past a different, like a far enough,
they have like a cone of like what they care about.
Some of them do, and that's the thing. It's like they're all kind. Even the big, they got these big bruise and brute guys, these thugs, and some of those will follow you, or they'll just stand right where they're at. But those you need to know, because you probably have to kill them for a key or something.
Right.
So I really started to get into the game, but right off the bat, I was like, this is not what I wanted to play.
It's a rough opening, like I said before. I mean, it really throws you in, and it doesn't have that open feel. It does feel very Left 4 Dead at the beginning as far as really linear.
Yeah.
And it's directing you down a path.
Yep.
And in the hotel. But once you get out to the, you know, after the first couple of, I don't know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You're open onto the beach, and you're free to run wherever the hell you want to go.
Yep. And you're one of 4 characters that, for some reason, can't get infected.
Right. They're immune.
They're immune somehow.
And like the Dead Rising, you'll come across other people. You can help them out.
Yeah.
You can do things. It's just like it melds all the elements of those other games perfectly. Yeah.
I can understand the smaller hordes, because isn't there more of an emphasis on melee rather than shooting?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, because
I'm sure that's a necessity to
and
have
I found,
smaller hordes.
I have
got
found
one gun.
a little bit of exploits because the fact that you have less
Cheater.
the fact that you have less people
Took out your
means-
game genie.
Well, I found out. First off, I found what was awesome to do was to run at people and then jump and kick them.
Oh yeah.
So you do like a jump kick and it knocks them over, and
Bruce Lee.
then you can pretty much just stomp on them while they're on the ground, kick them, and they die and they don't ever get up. So most of the time, I just kick all the zombies in the ass
Yes.
because they fall over face first, and then I just kick them in the ass,
Yep.
and then they die.
I hit their legs. I'm more of a. They always say aim for the head, but I hit the legs, and then I hit their head while they're down, and then just, as they level up, it gets a little
Harder to do that stuff.
In the zombie movies, they never tell you kick them in the ass.
They don't.
And that'll take care of it.
It's
Wow.
actually the way that they're positioned. Most of the time, it's probably more the taint.
Pretty much.
kicking 'em
Of
in.
course it is.
But what can you
With
do?
you.
Well, it's just where I go to.
You do go to the taint a lot.
Second home.
Second home. Gross.
Summer home.
Visually, I liked it, but there were some problems with the just tearing.
Yeah, they're. It's visually not up to par with those other games, probably. That
Yeah,
it's,
that's- I agree.
using some of those ideas from. But the gameplay is making up for it by a ton. But there is some graphical issues for sure. There's a lot of pop-in textures as far as like you'll go into a room and it'll take a while for some of the stuff to populate.
Or it'll be there, disappear, and then show right back up.
Whoa.
I was like,
Ghosts.
I was like, because I was walking and it had a nice pool scene.
Yeah.
And then it went down to like the ground. And I'm like, so I thought maybe I walked into some phantom zone or something. I don't know. But no, it came back.
Yeah, and I've noticed some of when it gets really dark, it really gets kind of washed out and like really blobby looking.
Yeah.
Like it's really not just pretty at all
Yeah.
in some of those areas.
Well, they already did a massive update for the game.
That's good because I
when it first came out.
I also got screwed last night when I went down this stair area, killed this big guy, and then couldn't get out. Like I would go up the stairs, and it was like there was a wall, and so I would hit the top of it, and if I would jump, and it would slide down like it was all ice, and I couldn't even get out of it.
Weird.
Same thing happened to me.
Same thing happened to Sean
Weird,
twice.
A different place though.
So that's not good.
Yeah, and then like I had to go back to the place that I got stuck in because I had to go kill someone there, and then I'm like, I don't want to go there because I'm going to kill him and then get stuck. But I got out, so it worked that time.
And
It sounds like their debugging process maybe got a little rushed.
Maybe,
they were
yeah.
really. I mean, I imagine they were really trying to get in before the huge fall rush. comes
I
out.
agree with you.
So
I think that's probably also the issue. But it's really well done. We didn't even talk about the like leveling up. I don't know. I really like the options as far as your leveling up because you can put your points into like these different skill trees.
Yeah.
And so they have the different options, and it really looks like you can draw your character or play your character out however you want to in like 3 distinct different patterns.
Yeah, well, and
which is really cool.
There was like also one was like a decoy. You have to put a little thing on there it draws the zombies towards you more than a group. And I thought that was a really
There's a lot of group buffers,
That's
yeah,
cool.
which
I
is
thought
really
that was
awesome.
neat.
And that's also a very Borderlands feel to it,
Yeah.
where there was skills that you
That's
could get
right.
that helped out
right.
your teammates.
And they're the weapons. A lot of the weapons are color coded. And then some of them are just different levels. I thought that was really cool. But all in all, I would like to play some. I'm going to hold on to it. I rented it. I'm going to hold on to another week. So I really enjoyed it.
and I may be buying it
And it was really.
because I really like it.
I thought too was like I'd get pop up saying, "Hey, this person is close to your progress. Click to join their party." And even though they weren't friends of mine, so I don't know how. Maybe it's just working off that server. So,
Yeah, it's always scanning for that.
And I
stuff.
will say this: I didn't like that it starts you automatically in an open setting for your Xbox Live setting.
Oh,
I didn't go in and change anything, so I played my game when I first started it, and some dude just showed up in my game, and I couldn't change it in the game. I had to leave my game and then change my setting to being solo.
Yeah.
So it just had a guy show
Is it
up.
called hermit setting?
Loser. No friend mode. No friend mode. No, I didn't want to play with anybody. I didn't know what I was doing yet.
yeah.
And this guy just showed up, and he was standing there hitting me with an oar, or trying to. He couldn't.
That's
but
awesome.
He tried. Did you make any? Did you take any of the zombies in the water because they drowned?
Yeah, they drowned. Yeah.
So I just kick them in the water.
Yeah.
I travel through the water and then jump kick them, and then they fall in the water and die.
And then drown. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Even your jump kick.
I'm a cheater.
There's a one level where there's a pool, a deeper pool, and that's all I was doing.
Just lead them into the pool.
I was just kicking them into the pool. I'm like, because there's a lot of them, and that's the thing. Like some of those rooms get dark, and you go into them, and you see a couple guys roaming. And then you go around the corner, and there's 4 standing in a group, and they're like, hello. They don't say hello. I wish they would.
See, and there's the thing. You're playing with... Let's say you're...
Instead of groaning, all the zombies say hello.
Hello.
And that's the thing. Imagine playing with like 4 people, or like 2 people, or whatever. Multiple people. And in Left 4 Dead, you're all going down the same path.
Exactly.
In this, you're like scattered out doing different things, and all of a sudden you're like... What the fuck? And you're like, what? I need help.
We need help. I like that aspect. I mean, it's that.
I really want to get in some co-op.
Is the one thing I loved about Red Dead, and how the fun that I had with that and the multiplayer aspect of it. And I think that this has it just because it's not like Left 4 Dead.
Agreed.
But it is. It has that zombie feel.
Yeah, I think it's a great mix.
It gets pretty brutal. I don't know why half these girls are still wearing their bathing suits when they're in all these different cabanas. They should just put some clothes on.
I don't know, but that's why they're getting.
Where are they going to get the clothes?
Especially the zombies. When you find a dead zombie girl bent over the railing of like a walk bridge with a G-string, and it's just gross.
That's why they get kicked in the taint.
And then you kick them,
and then they fall over.
And then they fall in the water.
Because I don't want to look at that anymore.
And they fall on their head, and it just explodes. But
it's exactly what I'm talking about happens.
And I like the zombie. The zombie AI was really cool too. Sometimes it just I really like the change up. Cool. So it was good.
Well, let's do some co-op.
Yeah.
And then we can talk about it next time.
Yeah.
Some more.
Lucky. Sweet.
You should also get the game.
You should join mine.
Doing co-op for Crimson Alliance.
Lucky.
Deal with that.
Lucky.
Deal with.
Are we done?
That.
Is that it for us this week?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Signinpodcast.com. That is our website. You can find a link to our Twitter, our Facebook fan page, the other pseudo radio shows.
I love how terse you are with this part.
All the other. It's the only thing I know.
Signinpodcast.com.
That is our website. Should I change it up?
Yes.
Should I do it in character voices from now on?
You should do it sensitively.
Signinpodcast.com.
No, that doesn't work at all.
That is our website.
No, go back.
Is it more lecherous?
Yeah.
Signinpodcast.com. I don't know. I can't do it. I'll do it like the chicken lady. How about that? Signinpodcast.com.
Well,
That's our website. All right. Anyway, you can email us anytime at comments@signedinpodcast.com. We would love to hear from you. Although everybody knows it's easier to find us on the forums or Facebook or Twitter. So that's where we talk to everybody anyway. But if you want to give us a special shout out, you can give us a shout out at comments@signedinpodcast.com. If there's something private you want to discuss.
Private chat.
And next episode, obviously, we'll have some more Dead Island, probably. I'm going to play some Space Marine in between now and then.
I'll probably have more Crimson Alliance and maybe BloodRayne.
Gunstringer's coming out next week.
Yeah.
And then what comes out in 2 weeks? Oh, yeah, Gears 3. We'll probably have some of that. What a dick.
I can't wait.
Some co-op.
I can't wait.
I know, right?
I can't wait.
Isn't it going to be stupid?
This guy. Seriously.
Look at this guy.
This guy. I've been trying not to think about it. And then they had like a box at Target with a clicker on it, a countdown on it.
Yeah, they do.
But I didn't see the countdown. I just saw a box. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, oh, shoo. Because I thought it came out.
You thought it was a bomb.
Yeah, I tried to defuse it.
And then you get the game.
And then they were like,
Sean, peeing on things does not diffuse them.
Arguments.
Sometimes. Yeah, there you go.
It diffuses arguments.
Okay, fair enough. I
Stand corrected.
point you.
All right. Let's get out of here. Woo. Join us for some Gears.
Or not.
Bye.
Later. Bye.
Receiving this transmission. This has been a pseudo radio production. Repeat, this has been a pseudo radio production. Copyright 2011.